Because of the pandemic, us school kids had to take our classes online using Zoom. It wasn't really the best way to teach kids since a lot of us had difficulty paying attention, but I guess it was better than nothing. It was boring and uneventful most days, but I'll never forget one particular day during my last year of middle school. It was the first class of the day, and it started out just like any other day. All us students logged on, and the teacher took roll call. The day's lesson was mostly centered on the teacher giving us a lecture, which was fine. It gave a lot of us the opportunity to pretend we were listening while we played on our phones. Every now and then, I would look at my classmates on the screen. Everything seemed normal, but something was bothering me about one of them. It was my classmate, Tommy. He wasn't doing anything in particular. He just seemed to be sitting there, staring into space. Something about his wide-open eyes just seemed so creepy. His skin also seemed to be paler than usual, and he had the same blank expression the whole time. I also noticed that he didn't seem to blink at all, but I figured that maybe his online connection was just bad. Even though it was freaking me out, I didn't say anything. I was more interested in being able to continue to play on my phone. After 40 minutes of the teacher rambling, the class was about to end. But just as everybody was about to log out of the class, that's when a lot of us noticed Tommy tilting to his side in an awkward way. And before we knew it, he completely fell off his chair. A lot of us just laughed, thinking he was playing a joke, but the teacher was a little more concerned. She tried to ask Tommy if he was okay, but she didn't get an answer. Tommy's camera just turned off a few seconds later. Still laughing, the rest of us just signed off of our first class of the day. Aside from the little incident involving Tommy, everything about the rest of the school day seemed fine. Unfortunately, we all found out the horrific truth the very next day. Word had spread among the parents and faculty about what actually happened to Tommy. After class, our teacher had called the cops to check on Tommy. But when the cops went to Tommy's house, they were forced to break down the front door when nobody had responded. Inside, they found a horrifying sight. Everybody in his family, including Tommy, were found dead, sitting at the kitchen table. Tommy and his dad were tied to their chairs with rope to keep them seated. Tommy's mom was slumped over on the table. According to police reports, after finding out that Tommy's dad had been cheating on her, his mom had poisoned everybody's dinner, except for hers the night before. But during her state of psychosis, she wanted Tommy to still attend school the next day. I guess she wanted to act like everything was normal. After seating Tommy in front of his webcam, she glued his eyelids upwards to keep them open and used a broom handle with duct tape to keep him upright on his chair. But after he had fallen over at the end of class, she decided it was time to finish the job. After placing the family at the dinner table again, she finally took the poison herself. It took a little to get over how horrible the news was. Our teacher actually had to take some time off. It was disturbing to know that we had gone through class while Tommy sat there, dead the whole time. But as shocked and disturbed as a lot of us were, we eventually carried on with online classes a few days later. After talking to others, almost everybody did notice how weird Tommy looked that day, but just like me, nobody cared enough to say anything. To this day, a lot of us still talk about the incident. It was especially creepy to realize that when Tommy had said "here" for roll call, it was probably his mom talking. But the worst part of it all is, a lot of us, including me, will never forget the image of Tommy's face.